Ready? Hello? Hi? Hi? Hello? Check this out. Yeah. We did it. We, as in all of us here, did this. My name is Todd Reeder. I have the pleasure of running the Community Development Corporation of Utah. We like to call it CDCU. And I cannot be more excited to finally be standing here today celebrating another affordable housing project in our great city. Before I introduce you to the person that literally started the ball rolling for this project, let me throw in a little fun fact. So CDCU was formed in May of 1990 by Salt Lake Community Council and community councils to be for the purpose of preserving and improving Salt Lake City neighborhoods and retaining quality, affordable housing in the city. The original incorporator of our organization was Stan Penfold, who later went on to serve a couple of terms with then City Council member Aaron Mindenhall, and both of them had that great vision for the funding mechanism for this. They've been great housing advocates for affordable housing for a long time. So, fast forward today, I want to thank the mayor for her leadership and vision on affordable housing over the many years and different roles of the city. Moving forward, the city does not need to start developing projects on their own, but continue to collaborate with the many housing developers that we have here and continue to innovate more creative housing strategies. I'm already scheming with your administration on the next big thing. We have a lot more of these to do in the next 4 years. Let's get moving forward together. Welcome, Mayor Mendenhall.
Thanks, Todd. Thank you. He calls it scheming. I call it a modern barn raising, because every time we do this, and this one is unique, but every time we do this, there's a smattering of people. And in this particular project, I think I saw 8 different financial institutions contributing. Salt Lake City is so proud to be among those, with both the Redevelopment Agency and our Housing Stability team, and thank you all who are here right now. But it takes many of us. And for a lot of housing that happens in the downtown core, one, there's not always a ribbon cutting or a grand opening, but two, the party is not this big. It takes a village to make this kind of housing possible. And this project in particular breaks a lot of records for us. One of those is that this project, led by CDC Utah, which is their very first multifamily project, and Salt Lake City is so grateful that you picked us to be this first project for you, and yes, let there be many more. But it also is the first group to say yes to $4.5 million that the Redevelopment Agency Board set aside in 2017. If you've been around that long, you might remember that we cleaned out the couch cushions in the RDA. And we cobbled together $21 million to put toward affordable housing, the biggest lump sum the city had ever done in our history. And it was just the beginning of what has been a glacial shift in investment toward affordable housing, now totaling an additional $55 million in just the last 4 years. And the city council's approved another $20 million that we're about to put out the door. But of the $21 million back in 2017, 4.5 of it we set aside for geographic equity in affordable housing. What does that mean? We were recognizing that anytime we were investing in affordable housing or it was happening in the city, it was basically on the west side or in downtown and central city. And we theorized that the property values of high opportunity areas like this that are connected to transit areas, job centers, fresh food, and other daily assets that every neighborhood needs, that the price of the property was simply too much for those property owners or developers to say, let's include affordability here. And so on that theory, we set $4.5 million aside to assist in writing down property prices and to help in the capital stack if necessary to make these kind of projects happen. 2017. It's 2023, and 2023 is almost over. That money sat there for a long time. And I'll tell you in a nutshell, I think what that money has shown is that it's not just about property value. that there's more to overcome in the creation of affordable housing than simply some low interest financing for a portion of the capital stack. But thank you to the Community Development Corporation and is it Blue Line? Yes, Blue Line Development for saying, yes, we're going to figure this out. We're going to take advantage of some of those funds. You have broken the mold for us here. And this is the first affordable housing project east of 11th East in decades. Put your hands together for that. Let me just put some greater numbers on this. It is the first 100% affordable multifamily project in this neighborhood offering 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units to Salt Lakers. It is the first, as I said, for multifamily project for CDCU, and I want to tell you that there are, because I like the details so much, there are 5 units that are 25% AMI and below. There are 6 units that are 39% AMI. I'm doing the math here. There are 33 units that are 45% AMI, and there are 11 units that are 50% AMI. There are 6 units that are 4 bedroom. There's 11 units that are 3 bedroom, 26 that are 2, and 12 that are 1 bedroom. And there are already 10 units that are occupied. This is exciting. If you are not a housing nerd, you are at the wrong place right now. Because this is the most exciting place in all of the state of Utah to be right now, right here at Richmond Flats. Welcome to the East Side Affordable Housing, and let's keep building. Thank you.
After 4 years, you should remember, never follow the mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I have to thank Councilmember Young for allowing us to build affordable housing in her district. And Councilmember Valdemoris, thank you for joining us here today. So 55 units, but I'll get to that because the mayor took a bunch of my notes, but that's okay. I do want to also point out they have an 2 EV chargers. So a couple key points here. 2 EV chargers, affordable living, and one of our RDA's goals was affordable family living. And it's great to get 4 bedroom units. That is impressive for a development. And I really appreciate that. Oh, I'm Dan Dugan. I'm part of the Salt Lake City Council, District 6, and also the vice chair of the RDA. And it's fitting to be here today to cut this ribbon because this is truly a gift to Salt Lake City. Thank you for gathering for the celebration on this wonderful project. It's great to be here on the east side on a project like this. In 2019, the mayor talked about the board. We took the bold step of that $4.5 million. We loaned $1.8 million to this project. And we're looking forward to loaning more money out to additional projects. And we'd love to have them on the east side. This decision was part of the broader commitment to enhance affordable housing options across the city, with a clear vision to create not just a housing development, but a vibrant community that embodies the principles of inclusivity and accessibility. You can walk from here to places to get food, and that's wonderful. You can get to transit, and you can get to open space, and that's so needed in this area. It's a testament to the power of collaboration and forward-thinking initiatives in addressing the pressing needs of the affordable housing. Small scale, 3 stories, right? Nestled out, as I said, in the middle of the missing middle, single-family homes, small and large retail. The mayor said 55 units, 1 to 4 bedrooms, awesome. It's the beacon of hope for individuals and couples and families to call Salt Lake City their home without the fear of displacement. I keep on looking up. Sorry, you guys are down here, but I keep on just looking up at the building. So the units are rented, 25 to 50% AMI, which for a lot of people that would say rental rates from $452 to a little under $1,500 a month, depending on the size and the number of units or the number of bedrooms. But again, this is more than just housing. I like to call it affordable living. It's a statement of our values as a community that we care for our residents, the value of the diversity and believe in the potential of every individual. This is a commitment to affordable housing throughout the city. It stands as a symbol of our collective dedication to fostering communities where access to better paying jobs, quality schools, reliable transit, and green space should be available to all. Affordable housing, I think the mayor stressed this already, is available throughout the city, not just downtown. So, in closing, I'm very grateful for that 8-deep stack of financing, the collaboration, and the teamwork across the board to put this together. The future is bright. All right, have a great day. Keep the faith. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. And I think it's awesome what the mayor said, the housing nerds, because seriously, I look out at all of you, know each and every one of you, and you are all truly housing nerds, and the passion you all have to get this done, that's why we're all here. Let me just take you a little bit about CDCU. We were, again, initially charged with mitigating neighborhood blight around Liberty Park. We started expanding to other distressed neighborhoods around the state by providing access to affordable housing ownership. Since our formation, until about 2016, we stayed in one lane and we succeeded with a singular focus. Our slogan, make home ownership a reality. It's even our company car, still have this logo on there. Over the last decade, though, significant economic and social shifts have rendered our middle-class Utahns unable to obtain and sustain home ownership, even with all the supportive services and resources we offer at CDCU. Drastic housing inflation, stagnant wages not only put homeowners out of the reach for so many people, but these factors wreaked havoc on our rental affordability as well. This new reality left CDCU at an inflection point and needed to adapt its services and products to meet this new housing challenge. A shout out to previous CEO Mike Ackerlow, who came to CDCU with a new vision and thoughtfully considered, what is home and what does home mean to you? We pivoted our strategic focus to expand a spectrum of housing to include develop and preservation of affordable rental housing. Instead of making homeownership a reality, we are making housing stability our number one priority. We're on the front lines. We help individuals, families stabilize their financial health, whether on the cusp of eviction or homelessness or in need of a critical repair or foreclosure prevention. All our efforts are helping families maintain the place they call home. And here we are. Part of that strategy includes increasing affordable housing stock for our community, and today we're opening our first of many affordable housing units. Richmond Flats. This project is definitely a COVID baby. We all recall coming out of the pandemic with unbelievable volatility in the construction market. Supplies are limited, everything costs more, labor demands, and of course delays, more costs. It's all still very triggering. But in the end, we've created a community of 55 units, all sizes, all rents we've gone through. In the spring, we'll see the blossoming of community gardens. We have a playground out and back. There's a dedicated wellness center. We have an indoor bike storage that a shout out to the Bicycle Collective. They are going to help our residents secure a dependable form of transportation, and they've already provided 2 bikes, just loaner bikes for people to go ahead and use here. So that's an important piece. And then finally, the community room behind us. This is for the community to gather, have classes, have social events, and most importantly for our organization, CDCU will be programming the space with our Smart Start budget and credit classes. So December 6th and December 13th, we'll be hosting some classes. Check out our website for more detail if anyone wants to get into what we do to help people get into housing. Stop by, come back here on December 6th. So this is it's like getting an Oscar. How do we get here? It may seem like the mayor and I should take all the credit for being here, which we kind of do, but it actually, as Councilmember Dugan said, we got here through the power of collaboration. On your end, Mayor, you have a staggering amount of talented, resourceful people that helped us get this done. First, the RDA, the Redevelopment Agency of Salt Lake. Just shout out to Danny and Amanda and the one and only Tracy Tran, who was there from day one on the NOFA application, all the way worked through this unique financing opportunity where we do have a ground lease on here, and very technical, but thank you very much for putting in that efforts. Housing and neighborhood stabilization, Tony, Amanda, Dennis, and even Dylan putting our federal funds to good use. Community and neighborhoods, we have Blake and the city's secret weapon, Tammy Hunsaker, to thank for getting us here as well. It's odd to thank legal, but seriously, the city's attorney, Kimberly Chaitras, has been with this since day one and worked through so many issues. So really, hats off to the Salt Lake City Legal Department. That's what kind of collaboration. Just on general development side, the other piece of the city that is so important we start with, and that's our community council. And Judy Short and Amy Berry have been on this project from the beginning and have really championed the need to get this project in their neighborhood, and was very instrumental in helping us through the whole process. So thanks to Judy and Amy. We are a community developer, and what a community of developers we have to help us along the way. I see the godfather of affordable housing, Marion Willie, out there. He's been instrumental in helping us get to where I am. Peter Caroon has been there through everything. The Give Group, Chris Parker, we jokingly call him Batman, that when the city needs him, we flash the light and he seems to show up. And he does very well as this open source ideas and innovative thinking. So cheers to all you to help us get there. Again, affordable housing is takes a village. For this project in particular, the heavy lifting was done by our development partner, Blue Line. They're out of Montana, and we met them through, they came and they do developments for First Step House. And they did all the heavy lifting. They're wicked smart and made such a complicated process so efficient. So thanks to Blue Line out there. Utah Housing Corporation, Claudia O'Grady. She held my hand from the beginning, and now I think she's ready to take the training wheels off and let me do my own thing. But big shout out to Utah Housing Corporation. And lastly, the money part. That part ain't easy, but starts with our good tax credit equity group, the Richmond group behind me. Both Terry Alok and Joanne, they are so pros, and they make this very seamless. For just 3 people in an office to get this done, it's pretty amazing. To get to this point, it was very easy. Terry Gentry's enthusiasm and passion for affordable housing is very contagious. And yesterday, I begged him to get on a plane, come out here and give us a rah-rah. He's got great taste in music, and he sent me a few mixtapes through the whole process to get me through this. So that is an added equity bonus that they offer at the Richmond Group. So we asked Terry to say a few words at the end. Hilltop Bank, construction lending wasn't very easy in post-pandemic, and they were super easy. So shout out to them. Rocky Mountain CRC, Nick, it's a standard. This is what you do. You guys do it better than anybody. You're a great partner. We're in the middle of doing our permanent mortgage right now, and you've been very helpful in having us stretch every dollar we can. So thank you very much. Olene Walker Housing Trust Fund. When you do a project, you have the same sets and you kind of take for granted, but you can't say enough about Olene Walker Housing Trust Fund. It's been through affordable housing forever. Christina, another enthusiastic housing person. Dan Murphy has come to the show, and of course Daniel Herbert Voss, just the legends. So we appreciate that funding there. And then new to our mix is the Office of Homeless Services. I just call it Russell's money, but I think it really came from the state's new funding. That was a huge source for us as costs skyrocketed. We couldn't have got here without their funding. So appreciate all the funders. It ain't easy, but then you get here and it's like, that wasn't so bad. So thank you very much. For the blood, sweat, and steel, or the blood, sweat, and expensive lumber, thanks to Kier Construction. Garrett's finishing up here. One of the challenges we have with COVID is, I'm sure you've heard, is electrical gear. Is it going to make it? Is it not? Have you ordered it? Have you didn't? He just told me today the electrical gear we ordered in May is due to come in a couple weeks. But with Kier was able to negotiate some things and, rob Peter to pay Paul, if you will. I don't know how they did it, but we got our own electrical gear, but the original order is still out there. So it's one of those years. our architects, Justin, Deanna. They've been with us since day one. And Justin, the first vision we had of this, it looked like you had a swimming pool on it at one point. I think that was a comment of the community council. And we had roof decks. It's a lot of great things. But fortunately, pinned that down. But thank you for doing that. Deanna left for a while. We had to pull her back in to finish this. She left the States. So thank you very much. Lastly, CDCU board, Ryan Peel is our board president. They really supported us when we took this switch in gears and said, hey, what are we doing developing housing? This is what we're doing. See? It works. And then lastly, the CDCU staff that's out there. I don't know where you are. Maybe you're out there somewhere. You guys are on the front lines and do such a important work for us. And thank you for getting me here. So that's our team. I'm going to now introduce you to Dr. Sean McMullen. I know you love that.
I hate that.
I've known Sean for 10 years. He was the first project I got to work on as a developer. And the work they do, they're going to oversee our set-asides, the 5 homeless units, the 6 set-asides for behavioral health and substance abuse, including veterans. So that's where the real work is done now, is this maintaining housing. So Sean, come up and...
Hello, everyone. I'm Sean McMillan. I'm the Executive Director of First Step House. Everyone has hit the high points, just the stuff that is so important, the creation of the financing stack, partners like Richmond Group, and I can't say enough about Mayor Mendenhall and all that she and her administration and the City Council have done to make projects like this possible. Because it's hard. It is a heavy, heavy lift. And the Office of Homeless Services, the stuff that Salt Lake County does that makes these sorts of projects possible. But then organizations like KIR and Rocky Mountain CRC and Richmond Group and Blue Line, it's incredible. But something that is really important about this project, so Todd mentioned that we were his first project. Well, he was actually our first project too. And we were newbies, and Todd welcomed us. He made us feel comfortable, and he made it possible for us to develop an affordable housing project for individuals who struggle with serious mental illness. That's 75 units. That's tough stuff. And we've been able to do other things since because of the same sorts of partnerships. Just so incredible, and a mayoral administration. A city that understands that putting the financing together for the projects is really important. But when you're starting to talk about people who are struggling with homelessness, struggling with mental illness, struggling with other disability, that you've got to be able to do some other things that enable those folks to stay stable in housing and get off of that revolving door. Because it's an ugly revolving door. It's I'm housed for a minute, and I'm in a motel room for a minute, and then I'm in jail, and I might have gone to prison for a little while, and then I'm back at a homeless shelter, and then I go into a treatment program, and they don't have good options for housing, and what do? And it's just ugly. It's just so ugly. And what this administration did, what CDCU understood fundamentally along with the RDA and so many other people, is that housing with services is absolutely essential for so many in our community. So many in our community, those that are visible to us who are homeless and those that are invisible to us who are homeless. And I can't, a guy in one of our apartments, I was asking, so Carl, how did you end up here? And he said, you were kind and you were warm and you kept, for whatever reason, giving me an option to choose to do it a different way. And he said, Sean, I'm housed for the first time for 3 consecutive years in my life. Now that's another project. But we're going to do the same thing here. So Todd mentioned that there are 5 units that are set aside for homeless individuals. Those are the kind of homeless individuals who are going to need supportive services so that we can keep them stable in housing. What CDCU and Todd did was, through those partnerships with OHS, with Salt Lake City, with others. They created a funding stack that enabled them to spin off resources from revenues that will pay for services. That is such a huge deal, such a huge deal. And Todd and CDCU knew that if we were going to do this to be successful, we had to have those resources available so that we could provide robust services. So 5 units that are set aside for homeless individuals, and then another 6 units that are set aside for individuals with special needs, including veterans. And let me tell you just quickly that the range of area median income that is permitted in this unit is so important. So imagine you are an Iraq, Afghanistan veteran, you're 100% disabled, and you've got income coming in from your service to this country because of that disability. Well, in some instances, that income is so great, it disqualifies you for a lot of the deeply affordable housing properties that we develop that have services attached, because that's where most of our services are those deeply affordable projects. This project understood that we had other individuals in our community, particularly veterans, who do have income because of disability, and we're going to be able to provide them with supportive services so that we can keep them housed. Huge, huge. They sacrificed, we can do something for them. So I can't say enough about all of the partnerships, about having great people like Todd and CDCU, but I also can't say enough great stuff about Terry Gentry, who is got his fingers in everything in a good way, in such a good way, because he knows how to make stuff happen when it comes to the development of affordable housing, especially affordable housing, at least in our experience, especially affordable housing that is serving individuals with special needs. And with that, I'd like to introduce Terry Gentry.
Well, I stand before you a very fortunate person. I'm fortunate first to be able to work with extraordinary people. The passion, the knowledge. I feel fortunate that I was selected. Thank you for selecting me as your partner, Todd. Thank you to the Blue Line folks. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. I'm very proud of the fact that it's not very often you get to work with someone on their very first project, and so thank you for that. But also, more than 15 years ago, I worked on Blue Line's very first project, and I encouraged them to come to Utah, come help us. And one of the ways that started out was by doing affordable housing toolkit workshops and helping to get people to do their first deals, to expand the knowledge base so that we could develop more homes, right? Because these are homes. These are 55 homes that we're developing. I'd just like to thank the city council for leadership. It takes people that understand that housing is economic development. It's not just a storefront. These 55 units represent over 26 million in economic impact. The residents are going to spend over 7 million a year in the community. That's economic development. So not only are we providing opportunities for these homes, but we're building a community, an economic impact for the neighborhood. I'm very fortunate to work with investors like American Express. The $10 million that was put in by the investment partnership was a unique thing. We developed at the Richmond Group basically a $150 million fund for Utah and to a lesser extent some bordering states, but mostly in Utah, with the help of American Express. They believe in housing. They're committed to it. I'll also say that Ally Bank and Schwab and Zions contributed to that fund as well. So thank you to their leadership of $150 million. That was the first one. We've done a second. We're closing our third. We're going to have over $500 million to invest. It's an extraordinary thing. I'm also very fortunate to stand here as somebody who grew up in extreme poverty. That included housing instability. included times of being homeless. I know what it's like as a child growing up to try to keep up with school when you're doing your homework in a car or in the bus stop. When we give kids homes, they succeed at much higher rates. It's not even close. We keep our community on a path forward where everyone has an opportunity. So let me just end by saying to the residents, welcome home.